is going on, guys? It's Justin from the J Media back with another video. So from the title of this video, you guys already know, unfortunately my wife, her car was hit by someone who without insurance a few weeks back. So what was happening was we were at a boat party, we were leaving, and this person just pretty much going in the opposite direction, try to squeeze through us and just pretty much scrape the rear end. So there's the passenger side, there's some damage right here to the tail lights. We put duct tape because there's a hole on the tail light, and it was raining the day after, so we didn't want water to go into the tail light. And then on the rear bumper, you guys can see little scratches, some of the paint came off. Again, not the end of the world, car's still drivable thankfully, but the guy stopped, we got his information. Long story short, the guy said he's gonna pay cash, but he's ghosting us now. So, well, can't have faith in humanity sometimes. So we also did get an estimate for a body shop. It was gonna cost almost $3,000 to get the tail light fixed, replaced, as well as get this whole bumper need to be replaced, painted, and I guess they need to blend the paint as well. So pretty hefty. My wife doesn't want to go through her insurance, you know, so next best bet is we're gonna try to attempt to see what we can do, a little DIY to make this look a lot better. So with that being said, what we did was we ordered new tail light for the passenger side. This will definitely improve the look. So pretty simple. We're gonna take this off, move the bulbs over to a new tail light, and then for this bumper, I'm no body guy, so I'm not gonna, you know, sand it down, paint it and all that, but we do have some touch-up paint, same color code as hers. So what I might try to do is right here, obviously put some touch-up paint on these little rough spots. I might try to see if I can try to, you know, clay bar it, try to get it as smooth as I can, hopefully get off some of the, I guess, paint. The person who hit us was a truck, was white in color as well, so that's some of his paint. Thankfully it's not a different color, not too obvious, but yeah, let's see what we can do. Alright, ripped off the duct tape. You guys can see the extent of damage on the rear tail light. There's no saving it, it is smashed and broken into pieces. So yeah, let's go ahead and show you guys the replacement tail light. Okay, and what we have here is a replacement style tail light. I did ask my wife if she wanted to go aftermarket tail lights. You know, even though the driver's side is not damaged, this is a great time. You could just replace both. There's some aftermarket LED ones. She wanted to keep it OEM. Next option is, you know, we could either look for OEM one brand new from Honda, or use her OEM one from the junkyard. We went with pretty much, I believe, the cheapest option, which is getting an OEM style one from Amazon. So this is brand new, supposed to look the same OEM style. So we're gonna take it off the packaging and compare it. So this came in really nice packaging with foam and cardboard, and comparing it to the OEM one, it pretty much looks the same. I don't really see any difference. So yeah, good quality. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to pop the trunk. There should be, I believe, 2 bolts, should be 2 10mm. Remove it, transfer over some of the bulbs onto this one. Alright, so you open the trunk. So just 2 bulbs right here. And I was wrong, it's not a 10mm, it's actually a really small size, 5/16. If you don't have a 5/16 and a ratchet, you can also use Phillips screwdriver to unscrew it. So yeah, let's go ahead and remove both bolts. Alright, so now that I have the 2 bolts removed, I can go ahead and remove the tail light. If it's your first time, you might need a little persuasion, so just push it from the side. Just wiggle itself out. It's held on by some plastic clips on the side. So it's held on by 2 of these white plastic prongs. So you just want to kind of wiggle itself out. Alright, so now that we have it out, like I said, it's just held on by these 2 bolts, as well as these 2 little plastic clips, which might be a little stubborn. And then what you're going to do now is going to unhook the wiring harness. So lefty loosey. just twist it. It should come out just like so. And pretty much some of these are clips, so we gotta remove some of these clips. We're gonna remove everything from this main wiring harness, disconnect it so we can transfer it over to the neo tail light. So pretty much everything is twist and turn, lefty loosey, except for this one clip right here. You might want to wedge a screwdriver, flathead, just kind of pop it out. It's a clip. Alright, there I have it, disconnected. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare it with the OEM one. Okay, so thankfully we have these prongs. Sometimes you might have to transfer some of that stuff. Everything else, it does come with all these. So if I want to reuse, actually the bulbs they provided. But in my case, I did swap out quite a few of my wife's bulbs to LEDs previously. So I'm just going to reuse what we have in terms of bulbs. So I'm just going to lefty loosey remove all these bulbs. It's nice that they provided bulbs. We can just keep them as spares. Lefty loosey, comes right out. Halogen bulbs. Let's go ahead and plug it back in. Actually, before I plug it back in, since I have it out, what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and clay bar it right here because it's scuffed up pretty high right where it meets the tail light. Just clay bar it, get it nice and smooth. Might clean up this section as well just so there's no dust. And then we'll try to do some touch-up paint. Once this is all looking good, we'll go ahead and slap on the new tail light. Alright, so if you guys have never used clay bar before, it's almost like this clay thing that's almost like Play-Doh. You can buy it from any auto parts store, pretty cheap. I already had it at home. What you want to do is get this surface nice and wet. You can spray it down with a hose. So the goal is it's really rough where it's touching, right? And with the clay bar, it's gonna take away all the little fine scratches and make it feel pretty smooth. So you can see it's picking up all that dirt, contaminants. So yeah, let's keep doing it and get it nice and smooth. It should take off some of that black, you know, really fine scratches. Alright, so obviously you're not gonna see a big drastic difference, but it feels a whole lot smoother. My finger doesn't catch on the paint anymore. Obviously some of the deeper ones you really need, you know, body work, sand it down, wet sand it down, and you know, stuff like that. But I'm gonna just do touch-up paint on these little areas. And yeah, if I have a buffer, I could probably buff some of these small ones out too. So let's just make do with what we have and get it as clean as possible. Alright, so I clean it down. Looks a whole lot better in here too. It's nice and clean. All I use is a damn towel. You know, I like to work with a clean working space. So now, like I said, what I'm going to do is these little black parts are really obvious. We're going to use a little bit of touch-up paint. And a while back I actually purchased this OEM Honda touch-up paint. You can get it from your Honda dealership. So if you're wondering what your color code is, it's usually on the door. So on the side right here, you see this barcode. You have your VIN number, and all the way on the bottom you actually have your pin code. So this right here, NH883P, that is your pin code. A little while back, somebody also scraped my wife's Honda Civic on the front end. So we did some touch-up paint. Can't really see from far, but you can see, I would say it's pretty spot on color match. Again, this is not a show build, it's her daily driver. So yeah, this was about, I think, 15 bucks. You can get it online. Exact spot on from Honda. You know, it has the paint touch up for the clear coat and everything, so super easy to use. Think of it like a paintbrush. So we're gonna take care of painting the black parts. If you guys are wondering what it comes with in the box, let's show you guys. This is how it looks. And there's actually two tips you could use. There's one on the bottom, one on the top. So even have instructions telling you the two different tips The bottom is pretty much like a paintbrush, and then the top part is to remove abrasive, just to kind of, you know, scrape off any like loose dust or anything like that to smooth down the edges. And the cool thing is this is already pre-mixed with the paint and clear coat. Before you apply it, you always want to shake it. I haven't used it in a few months, so we're going to tackle the top part first. And then we also have a little bit right here, a little bit right here as well. The paint is actually on the top, right here, and then the bottom is the clear coat. So you always want to apply a little bit, not too much. You can always apply more coats later on. So thin coat, and give it about 30 minutes in between coats to dry.
A few moments later.
So just like that, first coat, I can still see a little bit of black, but I laid it on pretty thin. Let it dry. I'm going to work on the other parts. Once everything's all covered up, I could probably go back and work on the first layer again. You want to give it about 15 to 30 minutes between coats to dry. So touch-up paint done for the first coat. While let it dry, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the neo tail light. So like I said, you want to transfer over the bulbs, make sure everything's good, nice and snug, and wait for it to dry. You can always do a second coat, third coat before the clear coat. And for those of y'all who have never replaced your tail light before or bulbs, it's super easy. So just stick this in, righty-tighty. So just a little righty-tighty, so once you know where everyone goes, it's nice and snug. Clip that in. If everything connected, you're gonna go ahead and put this in. So just like so, you're gonna clip those two prongs in first, secure it with the 2 bolts. New tail light is on. It looks just like OEM style tail light. This part is OEM, so if this part is damaged, it does not come with it. I'm sure you could order it. We just had the tail light replaced. Color match is spot on. Fitment's pretty spot on. I want to say we got this on Amazon for like 50 bucks. Most important thing to any tail light install, we're gonna make sure it works. So let's go ahead and start up the car, step on the brakes, reverse, bulbs, turn signals, make sure everything works. Alright, that's a good sign. The brakes work. They strobe because we replaced it. Okay, turn signal works, okay. Brakes work, alright. Reverse bulb works, perfect. Now turn on the headlights. Perfect, that works as well. Okay, everything looks good. Alright, so there we have it. So much better. We did a second coat, especially up here. Like I said, if you really want to get some of these out, you could probably buff it out. I don't have a buffer at home, but I already had it clay bar. So especially some of these, all these should come out pretty easily. These, they kind of catch, my fingernail catches, so it's going to be a lot hotter. But again, if you want to wet sand it, you know, or buff it down, you could probably get a lot better. But yeah, all in all, I think it's a lot better from before. So hope you like this simple fix. So really what I spent, instead of $3,000 at a body shop, we spent about $50 for the tail light. And then we already had the Honda touch-up paint, but if you don't, maybe like $15. So all in all, for under $100, you can get the car pretty much looking as good as you can DIY at home. So hope you guys like that simple video. I wasn't sure if I should make a vlog, but again, you know, I wanted to document the simple transformation that you can do on a budget for cheap. I know whenever people get into accidents, a lot of people are pretty, like my wife, she got really stressed out, especially with an uninsured motorist. And I know a lot of you guys might say, file it through your insurance. So I work in insurance, and yes, you can file through your insurance to the uninsured motorist claim and get it fixed. However, it does go up on your claims record. Yes, even though it's not your fault technically, the insurance company is paying out for it. So what that means is come renewal time, they take into account any claim that goes on your driver's record. So yeah, we definitely don't want her rates to skyrocket just because of an uninsured motorist claim. So we're not taking chances. Since it's a small fix, we decided to DIY it. Hope you guys like it. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.